Nandito na lang kayo. Ready?
I-mute kasi namin kasi hindi pa start.
Wala isang gagawin.
Ano, ma-share screen kasi host disabled participant.
Who's the host?
Pwede pa kayo maghintay.
The host. Hindi na rin ma-share screen.
Who's the host? Si Eliza, okay na po. But host disabled participant screen sharing.
Nakalagay ka.
Sabi,
Host disabled participant screen sharing.
pinutin mo yung share screen.
Yes, naka. Meron. Ito po.
Nakamute naman.
Okay.
Okay.
No.
Thank you po.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bri.
Nakamute naman.
Minute mo na muna kasi start. You can enable the microphone, then talk to them.
Na maghihintay ng 5 minutes.
Meron ka bang
Chat
mag-ask?
mo lang siya.
Sige.
Sabi niya kasi, then talk to them na and you will start soon.
Sabihin mo na lang mag-start mainaan.
Yeah. Hello everyone. We're going to start soon. We're just waiting for some participants. Thank you.
Alexa, mag-start na. I-video ko nga sila, isabi ko. Pero ano na ngayon, sa start na 18 minutes, yung mga participants na pumapasok. Punta ka na lang sa Astrolab na ano.
Ari. Perfect. I think we should start now. Okay. Good day, everyone. Welcome to today's webinar about economic substance regulations. First of all, I would like to thank Astrolabs for giving us the opportunity to host this webinar. In behalf of Ms. Eliza Pameloza, our tax supervisor, I am Hannah Macandili, business advisor at AMCA Auditing and Business Advisors. So I was the top graduate in the field of business administration in the Philippines, and I've been working in the field of sales and marketing since 2016. So let's start. Everyone is asking, what is economic substance regulations? Last April 2019, UAE introduced a new resolution called Economic Substance Regulations, and it is issued to be compliant with the global standards set on harmful tax practices, which requires companies to have adequate economic presence in the country. So as we all know, some companies are being incorporated just for the sake of transferring and receiving funds from other entities that are also connected with the company. This kind of practice will somehow be mitigated through ESR initiative. Furthermore, this is the response of the UAE government to the review done by the European Union, which resulted in the UAE being included in the list of non-cooperative jurisdictions for tax purposes or European Union blacklist. So beyond all of this, the implementation of ESR is necessary step for each of the jurisdiction to curb the illegal tax practices of some companies. Then, who are considered as licenses? So as per Article 1 of Cabinet of Ministers Resolution number 31 of 2019 concerning economic substance regulations, licensee is a natural or juridical person licensed by the competent licensing authority or authorities in the state to carry out a relevant activity in the state, including a free zone and a financial free zone. So these are the companies in UAE, be it in onshore, offshore, mainland companies, free zone companies, or financial free zone companies such as DIFC or Abu Dhabi Global Market. So here are the list of relevant activities. First is banking business, insurance business, investment fund management business, lease finance business, headquarters business, shipping business, holding company business, intellectual property business, and distribution and service center business. So this will be discussed further later on this webinar. It should be noted that as per the resolution, only those who are undertaking the relevant activities should file for notification. Regulatory authorities such as DMCC are asking all of their licenses to file the notification and inform whether they are undertaking a relevant activity or not. So it must be noted that the license authorities or the license activities are not enough as basis whether a company is undertaking the relevant activities. So they should check and assess their actual activities during the reportable period and follow a substance over form approach. So everyone is asking, what is the reportable period? So the reportable period is the financial year of the company. It can be seen through the memorandum of association or articles of incorporation. So it shall be noted that the regulations apply to the financial years commencing on or from 1st of January 2019. So common case here is that a company's financial year falls on calendar year. For example, 1st of January 2019 to 31st December 2019. Are there companies that are exempted from ESR? The answer is yes. So these are the companies that are owned by the federal or local government or any governmental authority by at least 51% direct or indirect ownership in their capital. So what are the notification requirements for DMCC? So basically, as discussed earlier, this is just an initial stage of the implementation of ESR in the country. Regulatory authorities such as DMCC is asking each companies to assess their activities and notify them accordingly. As such, whether you are not undertaking a relevant activity or not, you have to submit the notification to DMCC. So what will happen if a company qualifies for ESR? So the company might be asked for further reporting requirements or to file economic substance return in the future. And we are expecting this to happen before the year 2020 ends. So these reporting requirements will be discussed further by my colleague. So you will have an overview on which things you need to prepare beforehand. So I will discuss first the first relevant activity, which is the distribution and service center business. So I will segregate this into two parts. First is the distribution business. So this activity pertains to a company that has a related party from outside the UAE, purchase goods from the related party, then import that goods to the UAE, and finally distribute that goods outside the UAE. So for example, I am a trading company and my parent company is in China. Then they are manufacturing phones and I am purchasing from them. So these goods are being imported to UAE and then I am distributing it to KSA and Oman. So for that, I will qualify under the distribution business. Next is service center business. So a company will qualify if they are providing services to a foreign related party, and these services are in connection with the business of the related party outside the UAE. So it shall be noted that dealing with the third parties is not subject to this relevant activity. Only those that are having transactions with the foreign related parties will be included. So for the penalties for the second part, for the banking business, we have Mr. Aishanul Haq. He will discuss the banking business, insurance business, investment fund, and lease finance business. So Mr. Haq is a chartered accountant here in AMCA.
Hello friends, first of all, I would like to thank to the organizer of this webinar, Astrolab, and AMCA Auditing for giving me this opportunity to be a part of this webinar and my colleague and attendee of this webinar. My name is Ashanul Haq and I am Chartered Accountant. Apart from the professional qualification, I have another professional degree of Company Secretary and I am graduated in Bachelor of Commerce from Delhi University. I have been in auditing field since 2006 and currently I am serving as Senior Auditor in AMCA. As we all know and my colleague also said about the ESR and its applicability. So I am here to discuss about the first 4 relevant activity. So without delay, here we go. First activity that has been listed in the regulation is banking business. For this activity, the licensee shall conduct business of accepting deposit of money which may be withdrawal or repayable, and licensee shall use these deposit in giving loans, advances, overdraft facility, cash credit facility, guarantees, or make investment. So commercial bank and cooperative bank will cover under this activity. If a licensee is a part of banking group and only provide advisory and arranging and other service to the client of banking group, then it would not be considered as a conduct of banking business, but it could fall under other relevant activity. For example, licensee engaged in the business of exchange foreign currency and remitting money cannot be classified as banking business. Example number 2, ABC is a UAE branch of XYZ banking group and its activity only to underwrite the new debts and equity, then ABC would not be considered for carrying as a banking business. Take another example. ABC is a UAE branch of XYZ banking group and its activity only to assist, advise and promote the product of its banking company, then ABC would not be considered as a taking as a banking business. However, it may fall under the scope of distribution and service center business. Some core income generated activity has been listed in the relevant activity guide, but I am not going to discuss here as these are illustrative only and not exhaustive. You people should know that other activity can also be classified as core income generating activity. It's all depend on the business and nature of transaction. One more thing, one more important thing, bank also provide the service of finance lease. Then to prevent the duplicate reporting, classification would be based on the main activity, or we can say the basis on the principal activity. In our case, banking business is the main activity and the finance lease is ancillary to the activity, main activity. Then I think that's all for the banking business. If you have any questions so far in related to this activity, then you can ask me. Otherwise, I am proceeding to the next activity. Shall I proceed?
No, I think there are some questions, please, on
Yeah.
chat.
Hello?
On chat, there's questions. Can you please
Yeah,
read the chat?
Hello? Hello?
Hi,
Yeah.
I had written a question into the chat, but it's not related to banking business. I have a question around the service center business, which was explained at the activity before.
Okay. Okay, let me check. Just hold for a moment. Where is the chat box?
Because I have a normal service license for the UAE and I would love to work here in the UAE, but at the moment the situation is worse because of COVID-19. So I started to work on a freelance basis for projects abroad. And I would like to know, will I be affected next year by the economic substance regulations, yes or no? Because I work for companies which are abroad and which are doing projects abroad, but I can yeah, I can work there as a consultant or a project manager online from the UAE. I live in the UAE and I have a trade license here. So will I be affected or not?
Ma'am, your question is related to distribution service,
To service center business.
service setup business.
Yes.
Ma'am, first you have to qualify for the relevant activities. Then you have to check the definition part. If you fall under these category, then only you have to report the transaction. Otherwise, no need to report these transactions.
Yeah, but what is included in the service center businesses? This is what I'm asking because the information on this part was really short. So can you explain a little bit more what is the service center business? What is included? What can we imagine? What the term means?
Ma'am, suppose you have another foreign connected person in outside UAE and you are providing service from UAE to another company, your foreign connected person, then you will be classified as a service center business. Hello.
Yeah, I still didn't get if I'm involved in the service center business or not. I still have to. I still find out if it's. I've written the text of the regulations, but I didn't understand what is really included. What means service center in these terms?
Oh, ma'am, service center means basically you are providing administration or other type of service to the foreign connected person, your related party. Just like suppose you have one subsidiary company in other than UAE and you are providing service to a subsidiary company, then it would be classified as a service center business.
No, I don't have a subsidiary. I work for companies which are abroad in projects. I support them with their projects. Is it a service or not?
Ma'am, is it related to you? This company, foreign connected person, is it related to you?
No.
No, then it
They are
would
my
not.
customers.
No, then it would not be classified as a service center business.
Oh, okay. Thank you for clarification.
Okay. Okay, shall I start? Shall I continue? Okay, our next listed activity is insurance business.
Sure.
Yeah, we have
There are
questions. Okay, let me check. Where? Project abroad as a consultant of the project manager. Please can you explain more about the service center business? If I work online for a project manager, I already answered this question. I have trading license and have not conducted any business with. Do I need to still consider this as a reportable?
You can read the questions and then.
Okay. Our first question is someone asking that trading that he has trading license but does not conduct any business activity. So I think there is no need to report the transaction, but the economics substance would be submitted. Economic substance notification would be submitted to the authority. Notification is necessary, is a must. But the substantive return is not necessary to file. What if the buying and goods from Italy company supplier and we considering doing the relevant activity? Relevant activity is depend on the basis of the relation with the other company. If we have a related party, then we will classify as a doing relevant activity. Otherwise, it would not be classified under this act. I think that's start. If a related party shareholder, if you are related or the foreign connected person, are you captured by the someone asked me that if you are related shareholder director of a foreign connected person, are you captured by the service center business? Yes, it would be classified under the service center business. If you are providing service to the shareholder or foreign connected entity, then it would be classified under the service center. You have to notify. Yes. Any other question? I think done. Next listed activity is the insurance business. Insurance business means providing a guarantee of compensation for a specified loss, damage, illness, or death in return for a payment of a specified premium. Insurance could be for life or non-life. So it includes the reinsurance and captive arrangement. If someone providing the service of insurance broker, agent, then it would not be counted as an insurance business. Acceptance of insured risk is must to classify the activity as an insurance business. So I think that's all in the insurance business. If anyone has question, then you can ask me. Otherwise, I will go to the next activity. I have reported the distribution is carried out during the reportable, but no income was earned. Is that acceptable? Yes, but we have to file the declaration with the authority. In case you have a distribution business and earning no income from that sources, then you have to file the declaration with the authority. Okay, let's come to the third activity, investment fund management business. To undertake the business of investment fund management business, there should be at least two entities. Number one, investment manager, fund manager, or we can say the asset manager. A person or organization that make investment, divestment, and risk related decision and take this risk related decision, then it would be a asset manager. And number two, the investment fund. There should be at least two entity, investment manager and investment fund. Investment fund means pooled fund that is collected from the investor. Whoever make the investment, divestment, and risk related decision on behalf of the investment will be considered as carrying on the investment fund management business. It simply means investment manager will cover over here. If one company merely implementing the decision of another company and do not have independent evaluation, then it would not be counted here. Let's take example. Suppose entity 1 is come up with entity fund and appoint entity 2 and investment manager and has delegated day-to-day business power and divestment related decision to entity 2. But the administration of entity fund will be handled by the entity 3. Then entity 3 will not be covered here because he has no power. He is only administer the fund. But entity 2 will be covered over here because he has the power to take the independent decision in respect of the investment, divestment, and risk related matter. Example 2, ABC Limited is come up with the ABC fund and manage itself the investment related decision. In that case, ABC Limited is not being limited as a basically in this case, ABC Limited is not limited to the general partner. He is doing the work of investment manager also. Then it would be covered over here. So if you have any question, you can ask me. Okay. Check. I am expanding my business from London to UAE next month. If one of the LLC partner in UAE is a partner in the offshore company, then it will fund the activity. If one of the LLC partner, if the business is doing internally in the UAE, then it will not be counted as a distribution business. It should be, it shall be, it must be the foreign entity. It is a digital marketing business. Business develops service. Basically, do I need local partner? Someone is asking that digital marketing business, do I need local partner? I think this is not relevant to me, so I will not answer this question. Yeah, you can send us the email. Do you have any question related to investment fund management? Okay, I'm proceeding further. Fourth listed activity is the lease finance business. What is lease finance business? Offering credit or financing for any kind of consideration. It includes intra-group financing, hire purchase, long-term credit plan, loan carrying interest rate would be covered over here. Interest-free loan will not be counted here. If there is no expectation of consideration from the credit at the time when it is provided, it will not be counted. It will not be considered as a free lease finance business. For example, ABC Limited sell goods to customer and giving them credit of 30 days. It would not be classified as a relevant activity under lease finance business. Similarly, if the customer do not pay within 30 days and ABC charge interest, then still it will not be qualified under the relevant activity as credit is not offered with the intention of generating interest. One more thing that shall be kept in mind, that markup of interest is not necessary. For example, if ABC taken a loan from XYZ and then passes it to the MNO at the same rate of interest, even though ABC is not charging markup on the interest and offer financing to other at the same rate, thus it will qualify under the relevant activity. And there is one exception to the lease financing business. Investment in debt or security that is traded on regulated stock exchange, then it would not be covered over here. For example, if you buy debt instrument of a company that is traded in a regulated exchange, then it will not be covered. If you buy some debt instrument and that is not covered, that is not traded in a stock exchange, that will be covered over here. So trading of debt in the stock exchange would necessary. Do you have any questions regarding this lease finance business?
Regarding the question earlier.
What is the marketing of the service created when local partner already I mean? I think I have already discussed the 4 activities, and the rest activity will be continued by the by Miss Cyril. So Cyril can come.
Hi everyone, good afternoon. So to introduce myself, I'm Cyril Ibanez, one of the accountants here in AMCA. I'm from the Philippines and a certified public accountant. So to continue with the relevant activities, first I have headquarters business. So a licensee will be regarded as carrying on a headquarters business if the licensee provides services to foreign group of companies. So the licensee's position in a corporate group structure is not relevant for determining whether it is engaged in a headquarters business. The licensee does not need to be a direct or an ultimate parent of a group of company for it to be considered as a headquarters business. So what's important here is that we need to know what is the nature of the service does the headquarters business provide to a foreign group company. So for banking, insurance, investment fund management, lease finance, shipping or distribution, and service center business, it may be normal it may be just a normal part of their operations to have a headquarters business. So for the purpose of ESR and to prevent duplicate reporting, such licensees are not also considered engaged in a headquarters business. Yeah, I think for a headquarters business, what's important is to know what nature of services they provide to a foreign group companies. So do you have any questions regarding headquarters business? Okay, so moving on is shipping business. So to undertake a shipping business, a licensee must operate one or more ships in international traffic for the transport of either passenger, goods, or both. So the core income generating activities for a shipping business are managing crew, including hiring, paying, or overseeing crew members, overhauling and maintaining ships, overseeing and tracking shipping, determining what goods to order and when to deliver them, including organizing and overseeing voyages. So for entities that arrange transport of goods by sea, they will not be considered under the shipping business, not unless they themselves operate the ship. So basically, that's the thing to remember under shipping business. Okay. Next will be holding company business. So for the purpose of this webinar, let us define what is a holding company business. It is a company created to buy and own shares of other companies, which it then controls. For DMCC, as long as they have a controlling interest over the company, then it will fall under a holding company business. But for other free zones, you may also want to check your relevant authorities regarding this. So what's important to remember under a holding company business is that the main function of your business is to acquire and hold equitable shares in other companies. And your company does not carry on any other commercial activity. Okay. If you have any questions, just post it on the chat. So a question from Dana Sharif. If one of the sorry, it's already answered, I think. Yeah. It's already done, right? Okay, no questions. So for the last relevant activity, it is intellectual property business or IP business. So a UAE company is regarded as carrying on an intellectual property business if it holds, exploits, or receives separately identifiable income from that intellectual property asset. So what are the examples of intangible assets? So it might be copyrights, patents, what else? Trademarks, brands, and technical know-how. So because most of the companies, most of the companies might own intellectual property assets, but it doesn't necessarily mean that they automatically earn a separately identifiable income from such intellectual property assets. For cases like that, they will not be under intellectual property business. So for example, a clothing company trademark its clothing line, which it then manufactures and sells to third parties. So as we can see, the main business of the company is manufacturing and selling of the clothes. So they will not be under this intellectual property business, even though they have trademarked assets. So what's important to remember under intellectual property business is that the company is earning separately identifiable income from such intangible asset. So the thing here in intellectual property business is that the companies will also have to consider if it is a high risk IP licensee. So in Article 1 of Economic Substance Regulation, there are three criterias that should be met in order for you to be said qualified as a high risk intellectual property licensee. Aside from that three criterias, you will also be considered as a high risk IP business if if the company does not carry out research and development or branding and marketing and distribution as part of its UAE's cost of core income generating activities. So as a default, high risk IP licensees are deemed to have failed economic substance test, resulting for an information exchange within the foreign competent authority of the parent company, ultimate parent company, and of the ultimate beneficial owners where they reside. So since you are deemed to have failed the economic substance test, a high-risk IP licensee would be required to meet the economic substances to avoid being subject to penalties. Sorry. So a question from Anna. Anna, are we considered in IP, intellectual property, if we sell IP which was developed and hold in foreign related company? On the basis of your question, I think you will fall under high risk IP licensee.
Can I do a quick question, please?
Hello?
Hello? Can you
Yes.
hear me?
Yes, yes.
Quick question. So if you have a consultancy firm and they're expanding business and they sold software and they sold PCs and this and that, how these are handled under the ERS?
Sorry, you're
So
selling
the main activity is a consultancy, but
consultancy.
instead of expanding the license, they just started adding activities on their own. So they were doing a lot more around IT. They were doing a lot more. They were trying to resell software licensing, this, that. If the license says activity consultancy, how that matches the ERS checks? Did I?
Sir, sorry. Can you explain further? Because so the
Okay,
main
so I mean the common thing that was happening around here, you had most of the guys were opening up a Fujairah-based consultancy company, which was back then was the cheapest, and in essence didn't carry. It was risky because the banks didn't accept you to open easily a bank account, but in essence it has so much under the consultancy activity, and you can do a lot of things. The same company started selling software licenses, and the same company started selling PCs without changing the license.
Oh, yeah. I
What
understand.
happens with the ERS control? Because there's a discussion going on, a debate with the issue of the licensing.
So, sir, to further assist you, can you email your question to audit2@amcaauditing.com so that we can assist you further, because so that we can advise you accordingly also.
Yeah, I'll ask the guy who has that comment to send you over. It was just a discussion we were having with similar companies. So I ran a consultancy license, but someone with a consultancy was started selling PCs and this and that. And I was telling him this doesn't match, and if ERS comes up, I guess they will hunt you down. Uh, okay, I'll ask that person to send you the question directly.
Okay, sir.
All right, thank you very much.
So for any unanswered question, you can email us at audit2@amcaauditing.com. Okay, sorry. For the purposes of this discussion, I will also discuss the penalties. So there are 3 offenses that might result to penalties. First is the failure to notify, then failure to provide accurate or complete information, and then failure to demonstrate a sufficient economic substance in the UAE for the relevant financial year. So for the failure to notify, the penalty would be 10,000 to 50,000 dirhams. And let's say you have notified, but you have failed to provide accurate or complete information, then you will still be fined 10,000 to 50,000 dirhams, and you will be deemed to have failed demonstrating economic substance in the UAE. So as mentioned earlier, there will also be penalties for failure to demonstrate sufficient economic substance in the UAE for the relevant financial year. For the first year of failure, the penalty would be 10,000 to 50,000 dirhams, and an information exchange with foreign competent authority of the parent company, ultimate parent company, and of the ultimate beneficial owner would be needed. So for the second consecutive year of failure, there will still be an information exchange within the foreign competent authority of the parent company, ultimate parent company, and of the ultimate beneficial owner. But from the first year's penalty of 10,000 to 50,000 dirhams, it would increase to 100,000 to 300,000 dirhams. And the license, your trade license or your commercial license, could be also suspended, withdrawn, or not renewed. So we are now aware of the penalties awaiting. I might say that it is important to analyze and conduct an impact assessment of the business activities in order to know whether your company will fall under relevant or not relevant. So I will. If there are any questions. So yeah. So to continue with the reporting requirements, here is Mr. Adrian.
Sorry, excuse me. Hello?
Hello. Yes.
Hi, I'm sorry. I'm not sure if you've seen the chat forum about the IP assets. If you could respond to that, that would be greatly appreciated.
Your question about IP assets? Sorry. What?
Yes, what exactly is considered to be IP assets? For example, if I create an e-course, is that considered to be an IP business? or if I use consulting or coaching methodologies, does that mean I'm an IP business?
So you're basically the one creating the.
Yes.
Okay. Would e-courses be considered? Sorry, I'm just reading your question. Would e-courses be considered? Okay. Would e-courses be considered tangible and intangible? Copyrights are intangible, but the e-courses. Okay. So it shall be noted that there should be intangible assets recorded in your books, and commonly it is being registered legally. Providing service. Sorry. Providing services is not conclusive that a company has an intangible assets. Is that what you're asking? Sorry.
Sorry, so what you're saying is that asset has to be in my financial statements in order for it to be an IP business? Is that what you mean?
No.
So if I derive revenue from selling an e-course, is that considered to be revenue from an intangible asset, or is that e-course considered to be tangible?
You should have an income over that, a separately identifiable income. So is that your main source of income?
It's one of my sources. So let's say if I sell an e-course for revenue, that's considered to be an IP business, correct?
Not necessarily. Can I ask, where are the e-courses coming from? Are you the one making it, or you're just acquiring it from a related party?
So I'm co-creating it. So there's another party that's creating it together.
Okay. So can you drop us an email so that we can advise you accordingly about your case?
Sure. Can you put your email address in the chat just so that we have the correct spelling of that? Thank you very much.
I think this is a common interest, because I'm also very interested in these cases, because I'm management consultancy, but I'm also preparing things online, and I'm doing the content by myself. So is it an intellectual property or is it not? If we write an ebook and if we are selling the ebook, or if we are containing an online course on LinkedIn and sell it on LinkedIn, is it an IP or not?
If we have publication right at.
Oh yeah. So if you're the one originally doing it, then it will be an intangible asset on your part.
Okay, so it will be one. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. If some company doing the relevant activity during the previous year, then it should be proved by the company. Then and for proving the requirement, there should be licensee. Basically, the licensing and the relevant activity are being conducted and managed in the UAE. For reporting requirement, there should be management, and there should be board meeting should be held in the UAE. First, we have to justify that we are directed and managed here in UAE. For this purpose, we should have adequate number of board meetings, and we shall have duly signed minutes and attendance sheet. Physical quorum shall be present in the meeting, and director should have necessary knowledge and expertise. regarding this for the provision of service or for doing the business. Director should have knowledge and expertise. And the second requirement is for relevant activity, the core income generating activity should be there here in UAE. If there is no core generating activity here in UAE, then it will create a problem. And the third one is here should be proper or adequate number of employees and proper premises and physical assets and expenditure should be here in UAE. Adequate and appropriate here is not described. It will all depend on the the nature and the level of relevant activity. But the company can outsource its activity, core income generating activity, to the third party. But in that case, it is the liability of the company to prove that the third party has a proper knowledge, proper staff, proper premises, and the licensee must be able to administer the activity which will be doing by the third party on our behalf. I think that's enough. Any questions? Trading license that have not been conducted any business. Sorry, I just want to clarify again. I have a trading license that have not been conducted any business. I have reported that distribution is carried out, but no income was earned. Is that acceptable? Sir, if no transaction has been carried out, then even though you have to, intimate the reporting authority regarding this, and you have to submit the declaration about this, that you are carrying on the distribution business and you have no business activity in the reported financial year. You have to submit this declaration. Or freelancer excluded. My FZ authority said that freelancer don't have to notify. Yeah, there are some free zones that only when the companies are doing the relevant activity, then only in that case they have to file the notification. Otherwise, no need to file. But it will depend on on the basis of different free zone basis. Is there any question? Do you have any other questions? Shall I close? If LLC company is buying goods from a company abroad and one of the LLC partner in UAE also a shareholder in the abroad company, is this related? Yes, it is a related party. Then you have to be check the reporting requirement. What if the renting tower crane in Singapore, which I am a shareholder in this, consider relevant? What if we are renting tower crane in Singapore, which I am shareholding? Is this considered? Mr. Ramos, you can send me the question through email. Can you go back whether consulting or coaching service are IP business? Just selling service using own methodology, so only service selling but not a product. If you are selling or providing consultancy or coaching service to the related party, then it will be covered over service business. Otherwise, it will not be covered.
Can I just reconfirm the intellectual property? In case we are just reselling something that our mother company, which is established in a different country,
Okay.
is creating or building, and we are just reselling it from the UAE, where we have our entity. Is this considered to be the intellectual property?
You are purchasing from your related entity, foreign related entity, right?
Yeah, we are not purchasing, we are just selling it.
Okay, you are selling to other company.
Yeah, we are selling to other companies, but we are selling the intellectual property of our mother company, which is established abroad.
Okay. Ma'am, are you talking about a service or
It's a software.
pardon, please?
It's a software. It's a
Okay.
technology software.
Okay, okay. You are purchasing software and further selling to some other entity.
Yes.
Okay, you don't have any right regarding the royalties and all. Are you earning royalty from these services or from these software selling, or you are just buying? You are doing just buying and selling.
We are only selling. So we consider it as of now. Yeah, we should buy and sell.
Okay, if you are buy and sell, then it would not be counted under the intellectual property. If you are earning royalty income from that source, then it would be classified. But we have to assess we have to assess your activity in some other relevant activity.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry, I just wanted to clarify what you said. So if I'm selling coaching or consulting services to a client, so unrelated party,
okay.
But if I have some special methodologies or whatever, is that an IP business or not?
Okay, you are doing franchise. You are offering franchisee to other companies.
No. Just consulting, like consulting or coaching. So not franchise, no third party. I'm selling to third party. Sorry.
Operating your own coaching centers, right?
Yes.
Okay. So I think it would not be covered over here because you are offering service to the independent parties. Hello?
Yes, sorry. So I'm selling to independent clients, external parties, but I just want to make sure that it is not an IP business, right? If I'm just providing services.
Basically, IP business means you are earning some royalty from franchisee or something else. And you already told me that you are only providing the coaching service. Then you are earning from only the service from coaching service. Then it will not be counted as under this category. Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you very much.
Welcome.
Could you also put your email address in the chat box?
Yeah, already.
Thank you.
Done. Yeah. Yes.
Hello, good afternoon. So if you have any questions or clarifications, just drop us an email at audit2@amcaauditing.com so we can advise you accordingly. So for DMCC companies, the last day of submission of the ASR notification is on June 30, 2020. So that is all. Thank you so much for listening in our webinar about economic substance regulations. So thank you again for attending and have a great day.
Thank you very much. Very helpful.
Thank you.
Here, stay safe. Bye-bye.
Safe. Bye-bye.